Yo, what's up, everybody? I don't normally make these videos or do stuff like this. Usually, in the past, I would be doing like a political rant or uh, I don't know, blowing up on somebody or talking about sports or something. Um, but I had some news I wanted to share with people, and I just wanted to talk about it instead of typing about it. It's easy to type about, but I felt like I wanted to speak from my heart. And excuse me, I'm still getting over 2 week head cold from hell. Like, absolutely, the weather's up and down, and I'm clear in one day, and then the next day I'm like, oh, I can't breathe out of my nose. Um, but this is about my daughter Cora, and uh, I know a lot of you know I've been a full time single dad to Cora since she was about 6 years old. No mom, little to zero help. It's just really been me and Cora since she was about six. Now, 8 or 7 or whatever, something 7, 7.5, right as she turned 8, I got legal custody, and we moved to Florida. But she was with me for about a year, a little bit over a year, before I got all the paperwork or whatever. And the reason for that is because her mother was a severe drug addict, addicted to heroin and crime. And I gave mother every opportunity I could. She kept making typical drug addict promises. I'll do this, I'll get better, I'll do this. And she just couldn't put it together. And I kept her mother's addiction from her, but she knew nonetheless that mommy was sick, and that daddy and her lived in Florida and mommy lived in Ohio. And when you're 8 years old, you don't know how that conversation, I don't know how that would sound for an 8-year-old, rather. I know it isn't going to be easy. She was a little girl and she no longer had her mother. I want to say before I go any further, I don't want to take it. I'm not trying to take any credit. I'm not trying to grandstand. In a moment, you'll understand, why I'm doing this video. I'm not trying to take the credit, or I'm not trying to pat myself on the back for this, but I'm just trying to say that when a little girl was about 6, 7, 8 years old, probably years of her life that are some of the most important, she started being a little girl and didn't have a mommy. And that's incredibly hard. Some of you out there probably went through that. Cora could have gave up. She could have became a angry kid. She could have became ugly. She could become just nasty, and she didn't. My daughter's gone through my mother dying, my grandfather dying. We moved back to Ohio 2 times since we lived in Florida. For one reason or another, we just feel like this is our home. Ohio is where we're from, but also there's really not much in Ohio. My stepmother Kim, there's really, not much in Ohio. My cousin Shirley, I have some friends, people that I love that are in Ohio, the Kohut family, friends, and some people that I grew up with, Mike Schaefer and his family, Dan Pickering, people I still hold friendship with till this day. But I still feel like, I don't know, Ohio just became our home. And during those moves, a lot of things are changing, a lot of things are happening. My daughter's growing up. We're going through people dying, dealing with dad, depression and anxiety. We went through a pandemic. We've been through 3 or 4 hurricanes. Um, we we've been through a lot, and I post good news about my daughter. I post good news as much as I possibly can, because good news is hard to come by these days. As a parent, as a friend, as a business owner, as a son, whatever it is, good news is hard to come by nowadays. And so I will take whatever good news I can get. And when she was 17 years old and she became a certified medical assistant, I jumped on Facebook and I showed everybody. When she got her first job, I was like, yo, look what she's doing. And you start really getting to feel a sense of something to be proud of. Even though I've always been inherently proud of my kid, you really just have these soapbox brag moments that just make being a parent and going through nights with no internet or no hot water because you were scrimping on bills. It makes it feel warmer to be able to be proud of a success, and a joy story, rather than, man, the lights were out, whatever. Uh, there was a time when Cora and I slept on the floors in our apartments. We didn't have anything else. There were times when the only thing we had to prepare food, we didn't have a microwave, we didn't have a toaster oven. We had a $5 Walmart brand wok, WOK, Asian wok, that we made our grilled cheese and ramen noodles. And I'm not talking about ramen noodles, I'm in college and I'm poor. I'm talking about, like, if we didn't make it to the food donation place, we had to have ramen noodles and stale ass grilled cheese sandwiches. we we did not always, we were not always at where we're I'm stuttering. We have not always been where we're at. And where we're at, we still have room to go and ways to do these things better and cheaper and save more money. But me and her have done it. And we've done it alone for the most part, withstanding some of the people that I mentioned a minute ago, withstanding some help here and there. We have done it alone. And we have been through pandemic, aforementioned hurricanes, deaths in the families, mother's drug addiction, me having to learn how to deal with being a full-time single parent instead of a weekend parent, how to not be a party dude that every weekend was, packs of beer, woo! That was hard for me to let go of. That was hard for me to let go of. Not having many people to turn to, or anybody to turn to, for long strands of time, whether it's from my own doings that people didn't want to talk to me. Hell, I made mistakes, but I mean, there were just big strands of this where we didn't have anybody. I'm lucky to have friends in San Diego that I was in the service with, Chuck, friends in the Navy, in Illinois, my dear friends Brian and Marissa and their 3 kids, Bryson and Athena and Brandon. Hell, Brian's mother, she's called me her son since I was 18 years old in boot camp. Every time I see this lady, my son from another mother, she says that. Her husband Rick, always nice, always giving, always there with a good handshake and a good hug. I've had people recently, new friends, Mark and his wife Michelle, my father, his wife in Ohio, my Aunt Shirley. Well, she's kind of like my cousin, but I call her my Aunt Shirley, even though I don't get to see these people. There are people that have been there for me in one way and being there for me and Corra. If I miss somebody, it's just definitely not on purpose, but I don't want to be like, oh, I did it all on my own, because there definitely been people there to be there for us and help us along the way. Uh, I got a friend in Nebraska, Ken Mace, served in the Navy with him. Talk to this guy, man. Anytime we have something, we use each other, we call each other. My daughter ended up getting that through my military friends. She has been friends with her friend Athena for over a decade through the power of the internet and cell phones. And now they see each other 3-4 times a year. And when my daughter goes to Illinois, she's got friends there and she's got family there. And I'm glad that my daughter has had the opportunity to pick up love from people. I'm so happy and grateful for that. When I post something like, a picture of me and my kid, I don't like to say, look at the car, look at the watch, look at the outfit. I even try to keep the pictures pretty minimal. I just want to share that she's doing good, because I full-heartedly believe, through unfortunate relationships that me and her have made with people, that there's a ton of people sitting there waiting for somebody with the last name Curry to get in trouble or make a mistake or fail. And I try to remind my daughter that every day, people are just waiting. They're waiting. Keep your head up. Stay on the straight and narrow. And if you go off that path, at least be very good at going off that path. And don't pay the price. Don't let people have that moment, because I know there's people out there waiting. And for those people, I feel sorry for. Don't like Corra and I, live or die. I don't need you anyways. If that's how expendable we are. Corra and I have done nothing but open our wallets, our homes, our refrigerators, our hearts for people. And if you so choose to not like us because of a view or an argument, and that argument turns into a permanent, if that's how whatever we are, that's okay. We are way better off with you. Our circle is small, and I've always told Corra, a smaller circle is going to create bigger problems. Is going to alleviate having bigger problems. You don't have, but you might lose out in relationships with people. You might lose out on experiences. But in my experience, people suck. Humans suck in general. And the future of our society looks pretty sad, that I got to turn life over to my daughter and someday my grandchildren, what it's like nowadays. And Corra maintained composure, love, and patience through all of this. She maintained it all. And she could have given up at any point in time. And she didn't. People message me all the time and they say, hey dude, you're such a good dad, man. Man, you're such a good dad. And I say, man, don't say that. I appreciate it. But don't say that. Because all the credit is deserved to my kid. All of the credit, all of the attaboys are for Corra. She's the one that did it. She's the one that had that situation with her mom. She's the one that had a father. She's the one that had if you want to call family be the way they are. She's the one that had these people. But she's maintained. And when people say to me, it's you, I hate accepting anything. I just want everybody to give the credit to her. And she's going to be 18 and a high school graduate within 24 hours of that. She'll be graduating from high school and turning 18 within a 24-hour period. And that's happening in May. And she went through all that stuff. And she's about to graduate high school in the National Honor Society. I've never had a C on a report card with this kid. When I took over, she was recommended to do first grade and kindergarten over again because of her reading and her math, and just her general education was way far behind when she was with mom. And I put her to work, and I've never had her bring home a C. That is extraordinary. As many schools as that kid has had to go to, as many adjustments as she's had to make, and she never had a C. Through new COVID schooling and pandemic schooling, she never had a C. That's awesome, Corra. Today furthers that good news. And I just want everybody, you don't have to comment on this video. Her name is Corra Curry. She's on Facebook. She's on Instagram. You don't have to comment on here. I'm not looking for likes. I'm not looking for thumbs up. I'm not looking for people to get emotional or whatever. Look her up and send her a message and tell her how awesome and how good of a job she did. I'm not doing this for her. But today, my kid got accepted to go to college today. When I was going to high school, my mom had explained to me that if my older brother, didn't graduate, that I had the chance to be the first Curry dude to graduate in quite some time. At least in the immediate sense of, whatever. And I took graduating, and when I walked across the stage and I looked to the sky, and I pointed to my grandmother, my Nana, I was looking for somebody else to be proud of me when I graduate. But I had to go to the service. I didn't have money for college. My parents were not, I don't think, financially prepared to be able to send me to college, or maybe even want to send me to college. It wasn't like we had a fantastic relationship. But my kid got accepted to college today. And I can barely explain in words how proud it makes me feel that somebody that close to me could be that strong and that blessed as a human being to do what she's been able to do. And being a certified medical assistant at 18, graduating high school, now being accepted into college. Corra, you're the best, most precious gift that any dad or any friend or any grandpa or any grandma or any mother or any cousin should have been ever able to call you. And for the people that hurt you, kiddo, and me included, I'm always going to feel bad about the tears that roll down your cheeks because of the things that your dad did. But for all those people that hurt you, for all those people that made you come to a pivot and a crossroad on whether to give up or throw the towel in, I'm proud of your relationship with God. I'm proud of you, and you should know that you are a rare person, and this isn't just a dad talking about his kid. If people comment on this video, tell her how rare it is that people get to be like that. The numbers for you to succeed were low, and I know there's other people that might have had a worse shot. I'm not saying we had it the worst. We didn't. And I'm just saying, even that being said, the statistics and the percentages that you were going to take over this place called Earth was really low. And you are putting yourself into a position to do amazing things. And although The school might not be Ohio State yet because it's just your first acceptance letter, but Florida Southwest, yeah, I almost did that without stuttering. Florida Southwestern State University uh, is is now got a new enrollee in Corra Curry. So she has paved this path for herself. All the credit for her. She's paved that path for herself. And if anybody's got kids out there or got a teenager that's struggling or maybe that thinks that there's nowhere left to turn, maybe use this message. I know it's 20 minutes and who wants to look at this for 20 minutes or hear this for 20 minutes? I get it. But maybe there's a kid out there that could listen to the message. Hell, maybe there's an adult out there. Corra, you can do it all. And I'm so proud of you today. And I can't wait to see what happens for the rest of your life. No pressure. I'm not trying to be like that. But I'm so proud of you, kiddo. And just take all the bad stuff that you have and just take it all, throw it away, and think about this and how proud you should be of yourself. You and you alone. Such a magnificent kiddo. And keep up the good work. I love you so much.